30 years ago, 1989, Nissan's Skyline GTR changed the way the world thought about performance. Turbocharged all-wheel drive, because of its astonishing capabilities, it very quickly got the name of Godzilla. But it was probably this car more than any other car in the 1990s that showed us how dominant that all-wheel drive and turbocharged performance could be. It's the Subaru Impreza WRX. Launched in late 1994, the WRX was an addition to the Subaru Impreza range. A small to medium sedan and hatch that had the two quirky characteristics of being powered by a flat-four motor like an old Volkswagen Beetle or an Alfa Romeo, and being available in both front-wheel drive and all-wheel drive. Subaru arrived in Australia in the early 1970s with a particularly ugly little station wagon that's one redeeming feature was the fact that it was four-wheel drive. Its reputation grew during the 1980s with the Subaru Leone range, and in the late 1980s, Subaru's focus moved from off-road four-wheel drive, light duty, to on-road all-wheel drive, and it went on to dominate the World Rally Championship in the 1990s in this. And this is what made it go. It's Subaru's EJ20 2-litre turbo, flat four, intercooled, turbocharged, all aluminium, 4-valve per cylinder, double overhead cam. Yes, it's all quite a mouthful, but this car punched a lot of faces back in the 90s. The Subaru had simple but effective strut suspension at both ends, but the real power of the package, if you like, wasn't so much the motor, but the fact that it was all-wheel drive. Instead of being two-wheel drive at the front or rear-wheel drive, it put the power down, 155 kilowatts, through all four wheels, and that was great for handling, great for acceleration, great for performance. The Subaru's price of around about $41,000 put it right in a happy hunting ground of the V8 powered Commodore SS and the Falcon XR8. Now, don't get me wrong, I do love my Aussie V8s, but back in the day, these things were a serious bit of gear. 155 kilowatts, turbocharged all-wheel drive, of course, 0 to 100 in somewhere around about 6 seconds, which was Walkinshaw Commodore territory, quarter mile in the high 14s. That was quick. In fact, these things were so good, so capable, they got remembered for all the wrong reasons. Back in the 90s, these things were something the police didn't really like. A lot of these cars were used in bank robberies, and for the oh so fashionable 1990s crime of ram raiding, where one of these was stolen, driven backwards through a shop front, loaded up with fur coats and watches, and whoosh, gone. Anyhow, I've got a job to do. I've got to be somewhere else. Yeah. I'm Glenn Torrens. You've been watching Addicted to Cars. I'll see you next time.